It was the wedding that froze the world in awe. 750 million people glued to their TVs, watching what they believed was the fairy tale of the century. The carriages, the lace, the balcony kiss. It was supposed to be the happiest day of Princess Diana's life. But behind the glitter and gold was a secret so heavy it almost stopped the ceremony before it began. A secret that ripped her heart apart and left the future king weeping for another woman. And now, decades later, King Charles has finally confessed what millions always suspected. This wasn't a love story. It was a royal duty, a tragic bargain, and a heartbreak that changed history. Before we dive into the darkest night in royal wedding history, hit that subscribe button and tap the bell, because what really happened behind those palace walls will leave you speechless. The world saw Charles as the stoic, serious heir who waited a lifetime for his crown. But behind the royal smiles, he carried scars that would shape everything. Critics mocked him as the soft prince. His father, Prince Philip, sent him to the brutal Gordonstoun boarding school in Scotland to toughen him up. It didn't work. It nearly broke him. Bullied, emotionally shut out by his cold parents, Charles grew into a man who craved love but learned to hide it. Ironically, that same sensitivity became his hidden strength. The press mocked him, the military doubted him, until he joined the Royal Air Force and stunned everyone. He rose above his peers, winning the coveted double diamond trophy as top pilot in his class. The boy they called weak had steel in the sky. But on the ground, his heart remained vulnerable, and that weakness would define his destiny. Forget the glossy palace version. Charles didn't meet Diana at a charming tea party. The truth was messier. He first saw her as a lively 16-year-old in a muddy field during a shooting party while he was dating her older sister, Sarah Spencer. Months later, a private gallery tour at the Spencer estate changed everything. Diana laughed at his jokes, listened like no one else ever had. For once, he felt understood. But his heart wasn't free. Another woman haunted his every thought. Camilla Parker Bowles. 6 whirlwind months later, he proposed. The world rejoiced. Diana, barely 20, believed she had won the ultimate prize, the love of a future king. Then came the betrayal that shattered her world. Just days before the wedding, she discovered a bracelet Charles had secretly ordered for Camilla, engraved with their intimate nicknames, Fred and Gladys. Imagine being a bride preparing for the world's biggest wedding while your groom gifts jewelry to another woman. Friends said Diana was in pieces, furious, and desperate to escape. But the machine was already in motion. Leaders were booked, security sealed, the British economy counting on its fairy tale. Every bride gets cold feet, they told her. Camilla will fade away. They lied. July 28, 1981. The night before 750 million eyes would watch her say, "I do." Diana, just 20, sat in her room crying. Not from nerves, but from truth. Charles came to her, guilt or panic written on his face, and confessed. He did not love her the way she loved him. His heart belonged elsewhere. "Why marry me then?" she asked. His answer was cold. "Duty comes before happiness. Love is a luxury I cannot afford." She could have walked away and ignited the biggest royal scandal of the century. Instead, she stayed hoping love would come later. It never truly did. July 29, 1981. The world saw a fairy tale. But the cracks were visible. Diana refused to vow obedience, a bold act of quiet rebellion. Charles stumbled over his lines. "Thy goods," instead of "my worldly goods." Even their balcony kiss was awkward. Diana leaned in. Charles turned away. Every smile was rehearsed. Every glance, tense. Behind the lace and diamonds was a 20-year-old bride already heartbroken. On honeymoon, instead of intimacy, Diana found loneliness. Charles's heart never left Camilla. When Diana confronted her, Camilla's cruel reply cut deep. "What more could you want?" Then came the tapes. Intimate phone calls between Charles and Camilla leaked to the press. For Diana, it was the ultimate humiliation. Proof the marriage was always a 3-person cage. By the 1990s, the facade collapsed. Charles, cold and unapologetic, admitted his infidelity on national TV. "I was faithful until the marriage had irretrievably broken down," he said. Diana, humiliated and isolated, fought back with her own explosive 1995 interview. "There were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded." That line became a thunderclap that shook the monarchy. While Charles's image crumbled, Diana became a global icon championing HIV awareness, landmine victims, and compassion beyond the palace walls. But freedom came at a price. Every step, every smile, every romance she pursued was scrutinized. The firm never forgave her for speaking out. August 31, 1997. Paris. A car crash that stopped the world. Crowds poured into the streets, flowers carpeted the palace gates, and the monarchy faced its greatest crisis in modern history. Charles walked behind her coffin, the image of a grieving ex-husband. But for many, he would always be the man who chose duty and Camilla over the woman who became the Queen of Hearts. Fast forward to today. King Charles wears the crown, and beside him, Camilla, now Queen Consort. The palace has rebranded her, polished her, urged forgiveness. But the shadow of Diana remains. Every photograph of the new royal couple is haunted by the woman who once stood in that place. For millions, she is still the true queen, the one who spoke her pain, loved fearlessly, and paid the ultimate price.